So the next product that we have is called Nurino. So it is also a disease-specific formula, which is also for renal patients. So yung kanina, sinulo it's for patient who have protein restriction. So si Nurino naman, it's for patients with increased protein intake. So the nutritional problems that Nurino addresses is dialysis-related protein loss, which is an estimated 7 to 10 grams protein during hemodialysis. As for peritoneal dialysis naman, it's an estimate of 15 grams of protein. So, this addresses yung higher protein requirement of chronic kidney disease patients who are undergoing dialysis. Yung restriction din nila sa phosphorus, potassium, and magnesium, which comes from dietary sources. And also fluid restriction. So, yung formulation ni Nurino, it's also the same as Nulopo na isotonic formula siya. However, it has a higher protein. The benefits of Nurino, again, is a low osmolality formula. For all formulas naman ng Efion, mababa naman talaga yung osmolality. However, it is important for dialysis patients to have a low osmolality enteral formula kasi it improves their fluid management and it reduces their tendency to thirst or yung laging nauuhaw since they have a fluid restriction and excessive thirst is common lalo na kapag nagda-dialysis. And again, kapag low osmolality yung formula, it does not draw as much water into the GI tract, which also helps minimize the rapid shift sa fluid, which in effect could cause thirst. So, other than that, the benefit of Nurino is it uses isolated soy protein, which is a high biologic value, and it also has a hypolipidemic effect. So, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng hypolipidemic effect? It just means that it lowers high lipid levels, which is common for dialysis patients na meron rin silang hyperlipidemia or meron rin silang problems when it comes to cholesterol. So, why is it important for the protein source of Nurino to be isolated soy protein? So, ang maganda kasi sa isolated soy protein is it has a high biologic value which could help maintain yung muscle mass ni patient. And it's common din kasi kapag dialysis patient na nagkakaroon ng muscle loss and at the same time, nababawasan yung weight nila. That's why it's good to have a protein source which has a high biologic value. And also, yung isolated soy protein rin kasi, mababa yung absorption niya ng phosphorus. Hindi siya nagbabind. Since soy protein is a plant protein, it has a lower phosphorus absorption. And in effect, it also reduces yung risk of absorbing these minerals, which is something nga na kailangan nating i-restrict sa dietary sources ni patient. Yung phosphorus, yung potassium, and magnesium. So, kapag isolated soy protein kasi or plant protein, mas mababa yung bioavailability ng phosphorus. Kumbaga, hindi niya na-absorb. Nurino is also fortified with hematopoietic nutrients, which are yung mga iron, vitamin B6, folic acid, which helps prevent anemia. So, to discuss yung macronutrient distribution ni Nurino, pinakamataas pa rin si carbohydrates and then it's followed by protein and then fat. So, Nurino has at least 8.4 grams of protein per serving. So, 8.4 grams of protein na siya sa 103 kcal. And then, it also has 1 gram of fiber per 100 kcal. which is also an additional benefit. As for the micronutrients naman, so it has low potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, all of the minerals na binabantayan natin kanina na as mentioned na dapat in low or moderate, low amounts na lang siya. And then it has an additional amino acid which is yung taurine, arginine, and carnitine. So these are amino acids that are helpful lalo na sa mga patients with chronic kidney disease since taurine helps maintain fluid and electrolyte balance. It also regulates blood pressure and reduces proteinuria. As for arginine naman, it helps in nitric oxide production, which improves blood flow, reduces hypertension, enhances waste removal, and helps prevent glomerular injury. As for carnitine naman, it has antioxidative properties that help reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, lalo na sa kidneys. So again, Nurino is ideal for patients who are undergoing hemodialysis, peritoneal dialysis, and for patients na nakaka-experience ng muscle wasting, hyperlipidemia, and anemia. So what is the suggested dosing of Nurino? Since patients with CKD, lalo na yung mga end stage na nagda-dialysis, they have a limited fluid allowance. So it should be adjusted depending on the patient's needs. Pero ang pinaka ideal is at least one sachet or one serving per day. It can be adjusted up to 1 to 3 times, which depends on the patient's caloric needs and fluid allowance tsaka tolerance. So yung preparation niya is it can be diluted up to 57 to 100 ml of water. So if you dilute it with only 57 ml, it makes at least 1.8 kcal per ml. So what is the difference between Nurino and other available products in the market? So first off is that it provides 32% of calories from protein or 8.4 grams per 103 kcal. If we compare it to Nepro HP, it's only 18% of the total calories from the protein. So parang 401 calories yung total ng isang serving or yung 237 ml na can. And it only serves 18 grams. So parang pag dinivide mo siya, ilang protein lang yon if we compare it to yung napaprovide na percentage of protein ni Nurino. So mas mataas talaga siya in effect. Kasi ang struggle din kasi ni liquid formula is you have to consume it all at once. And we also have to watch out for the fluid restriction of the patient since yun na nga yung problem niya. Kaya mas maganda talaga if nalilimit yung fluid intake. And that's why there is a benefit if we use a powdered formula. And also, if we compare it to this product, mas mataas yung dietary fiber ni Nurino, which is at least 1.3 grams per serving. If you compare it, nasa 0.92 grams of dietary fiber per serving. So we now move on to the clinical studies. So yung journal or study na ginamit natin for Nurino is not exactly a study na ginamit si Nurino. It's a study that uses a similar formulation which is soy protein or ISP, isolated soy protein. So this study is entitled Variable Effects of Soy Protein on Plasma Lipids in Hyperlipidemic and Normolipidemic Hemodialysis Patients. So the objective of the study is to examine the effects of soy protein consumption on lipid metabolism in hemodialysis patients and evaluate the lipemic response between normolipidemic and hyperlipidemic subjects. So the study design is a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled clinical trial. And yung selection criteria nila is hyperlipidemic subjects that were screened. So, merong initial fasting plasma total cholesterol concentration which should be greater than 240 milligrams per deciliter. As, and for the triglycerides naman, 200 milligrams per deciliter din. And as for the normal lipidemic, meron din silang required total cholesterol concentration. And it's the same for the plasma triglyceride. So overall, 39 subjects were able to complete the study. So 19 hyperlipidemic and 18 normal lipidemic subjects. So yung methodology niya was that all subjects followed the usual hemodialysis diet, which is this prescription, which is 35% fat, 1.2 grams per kilograms of protein, and 32 to 35 kcal. So subjects in each category or in each group were randomly assigned to one of two dietary treatment subgroups, which provided isolated soy protein or milk protein. So, intervention si ISP or yung isolated soy protein, which is similar to Nurino. And then the other one is milk protein, which is the control group. So, for 12 weeks, all subjects continued to consume the usual hemodialysis diet and were asked to consume one 30-gram packet of ISP or 30-gram packet of milk protein. So, each day at breakfast or after dialysis, doon nila kino-consume yung product. So, the compliance with the dietary protein intake was measured by a 24-hour dietary recall. And kinakalculate nila yung protein equivalent of nitrogen appearance from urea nitrogen. As for the blood samples, it was collected every 4 weeks after the subjects had fasted for approximately 10 to 12 hours. So, they were also monitoring yung mga medications ng mga participants nila. So, there were no lipid-lowering drug therapy or medication that was known to influence lipid concentration. So, as for the results of the study, both total cholesterol and triglycerides dito sa table 3 were decreased sa hyperlipidemic subjects. So, if we can compare it dito from baseline, bumaba siya. Oh. So, 216.7 na lang yung mean niya. And then, if you compare it with yung sa milk group, yung total cholesterol, it's almost the same from baseline. So, 254.3, naging 257.7 pa. So, tumaas pa yung total cholesterol niya. So, this is for the milk group ah. And as for the triglycerides, bumaba rin siya oh. From 333.2 baseline, naging 185.7 na lang yung mean niya. In table 4, for hyperlipidemic subjects, yung non-HDL-C niya, tsaka yung mga ibang parameters, yung ApoA, ApoB, and yung insulin niya. Lahat sila bumaba or nag-decrease sila significantly. If we compare it to yung counterpart niya na milk group. So dito, yung baseline ni insulin nasa 18.6 yung mean, then 16.1 at week 12. Although bumaba rin siya, but it's not as drastic as yung nandito sa isolated soy protein group, which is from baseline of 17.6, nasa 8.5 na lang siya. That's more than half or more than 50% reduction. And also, for the other parameters rin, is yun nga, yung mga HDL-C niya, this is supposed to increase. Kasi this is the good cholesterol. So, from 33.3, naging 39.1 siya. And it's also observed in milk and the milk group. However, if we compare them both, sobrang mas drastic yung changes or mas significant yung increase dito kay ISP group. And the same for the other parameters or yung mga ibang variables na tinitingnan natin. Dito, bumaba yung LDLC niya. It's the same for non-HDLC, bumaba din. Dito rin sa total cholesterol, HDLC ratio niya, 5.6 na lang. So, these are all markers of improvement. As for the normal epidemic naman na groups, ang naging improvement niya is bumaba pa rin yung insulin niya kahit hindi na masyadong nag-improve yung sa mga ibang variables or yung sa mga cholesterol niya. Although bumaba rin yung data nila. Just dito sa HDLC, 102.1 yung mean, naging 97.8. However, yung pinaka-significant niya is yung pagbaba ng insulin niya dito, which is from 9.4 to 6.5. This is for normal lipidemic subjects which took the ISP or isolated soy protein formula. So, what does the study imply? So, how can this be applied with Norino? So, study implies that the use of isolated soy protein formula has a beneficial effect on the plasma lipid level management in hemodialysis patients. And also, it also implies that soy protein influences lipid metabolism in hemodialysis patients, which suggests that soy protein may be effective in improving uremic hyperlipidemia. And also, the use of soy protein effectively decreases insulin concentration for hyperlipidemic patients. And the same effect is also observed in normal lipidemic patients, although it's not as drastic as the improvement in the hyperlipidemic patients. Pero it was observed na bumababa pa rin yung insulin levels nila kahit konti. And the use of isolated soy protein improves the lipid profile of hyperlipidemic dialysis patients by significantly decreasing yung LDLC nila or yung bad cholesterol and increasing HDLC, which is the good cholesterol. So how can this be applied sa Nurino? So Nurino, which uses isolated soy protein as its protein source, could be used in the nutritional management of moderately hyperlipidemic hemodialysis patients or yung mga hemodialysis patients na may hyperlipidemia rin. Very ideal na gumamit sila ng nutritional supplement which uses isolated soy protein, which is the protein source of Nurino. And again, Nurino is also beneficial for hemodialysis patients that does not have hyperlipidemia kasi it still increases the HDLC levels or yung good cholesterol, and then it also improves yung insulin resistance. So overall, the clinical takeaway of all of our products is that it provides quality ingredients that are beneficial nutrients that caters to disease-specific nutritional needs that could lead to the faster recovery of patients. It also improves the nutritional adequacy of patients with normal and compromised oral intake. And the formulation of the products are overall backed up by evidence-based studies that support the basic concepts of medical nutrition therapy. Since that was the purpose of presenting the clinical studies a while ago. Kasi I wanted to show na yung mga ingredients and yung formulation ng mga products ni Efion are all backed up by science or journals that can support yung concepts of medical nutrition therapy and recovery. Our products are also medical grade, which can be used to support metabolic and renal conditions of patients outside and inside hospital setting. So what are the clinical disclaimer and the monitoring parameters that our products warrant? So the usage should be lista for hospital setting should be under medical supervision when used as an enteral feeding. And again, nutritional supplementation does not replace yung medical and pharmacologic therapy. And then, yung dosage should be closely monitored and adjusted based on patient's clinical condition, tolerance, and fluid allowance. Again, this is for yung Nurino and Nulopo. Yung mga monitoring parameters din natin. The actual body weight and BMI is for yung Livestrong Plus Classic kasi it can be used for weight loss and weight gain. Since high protein siya and complete formula, it can be used as a meal replacement. Also, for Livestrong diabetes naman, yung blood glucose nila, dapat ino-observe din for diabetic patients. And as for yung renal line of products namin, which is the Nulopo and the Nurino, it is important to observe the blood urea nitrogen, creatinine, yung electrolytes, serum albumin, pre-albumin, and also for hemodialysis patients with hyperlipidemia or yung may mga issues sa lipid profile, dapat ino-observe din. So, thank you for listening, and that would be all for my presentation.